And in this video, we're going to discuss and have a conversation about the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I'm going to share with you the 6 most important, powerful lessons that are in the pages of this book. This video is for one of 2 people only. The first type of person this is for someone that's read this book already, but they just want a quick recap. The second type of person that this video is for someone that's interested in this book, that's interested in getting the knowledge and information in this book, that wants to get better at communicating with people, getting people to go along with their ideas, persuading people to kind of go along with their ideas and even possibly do things for them, but they don't want to spend time reading this book. So what I'm going to do in this video is give you a summary of the top 6 lessons that are taught inside this book, and then I'm going to share with you exactly how you can apply each of the lessons in your life now so you can become a greater influencer and so you can start getting people to like you and go along with your ideas. So, a lot of people like these video book summaries as I do because they're like, Aaron, I'm a busy person. I'd love to read the book. The book is fantastic. But if you could watch a 10, 15-minute video that I have and you can get the same information that would take you, a handful of hours or sometimes even 5 to 10 hours to go through, you're basically getting a condensed version, but you're still being able to retain the most important principles that are taught inside this book. So that is the purpose of this video. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So I guess I should keep the book out, right? The first lesson in How to Win Friends and Influence People is to give honest and sincere appreciation. To let people know that you appreciate them. When people do a good job, to compliment them on this. Now people can detect if, we're being honest with them or if we're kind of we're being a little fake. So we want this to be honest. We want to be honest with them. We want to be completely sincere. And it's pretty easy. Even if it's just little things, letting people know that you appreciate it. Someone cooks food for you, appreciate the food. Someone brings you a pen, thanks for bringing me the pen. If you're working with different coworkers, or when you get to the point to where, because you could use this to eventually get a bunch of employees, and you get a bunch of employees, letting them know that they're doing a good job and they completed this task well. I really like that you show up to work on time. I really like that you're enthusiastic about your job. I really like that when we get kind of tough customers that, you're calm with them and you help solve their problems. The other thing this does is, besides the fact that other people will start to like you because you're making them feel good, is it kind of makes you feel good. Try it out. My challenge for you is over the next week, give one sincere compliment once a day to just someone you run into. It could be someone you see when you're out and about or a stranger. Maybe the server does a good job. Take a second and compliment the server on their good job. If the food's really good, ask to give appreciation to the chef. It's kind of fun. It makes you feel good because you're making other people feel good and you're kind of making their day. And it's 100% free to do. You can do this if you're a billionaire. You can do this if you're broke. It's fantastic. Number 1, give sincere, honest appreciation. Number 2 is smile. Now, why smiling? Smiling does 2 things. The first thing it does is smiling releases, I don't know if they're endorphins, but it releases chemicals that can actually make you in a better mood. There's been times where I'll go out with my friends, I'm pissed off, I'm just pissed off about stuff. But we'll kind of start cracking jokes and we'll start smiling and having fun. And just laughing puts you in a good mood, kind of puts you in a good state. Think about it. Has there ever been a time where maybe you're in a bad mood and you went to a comedy club or you started watching something funny, and just from laughing and smiling, the act of smiling, it does something to you. It does something to your body. The second thing it does is, just like it does something to you, it'll do something to other people. Just like it can make you feel good when you smile and you talk to people, and it doesn't have to be but just kind of having, like maybe the way you and me are having a conversation right now. I'm not not have like a Joker smile where my smile's going, up to the moon or anything, but I'm kind of like halfway smiling and kind of being in good energy around you. When you talk to other people, it can help. Just try it out. Other people will get good energy from it as well. And of course, you can combine this with number 2, where you give a compliment to someone. Hey, I just wanted to tell you I appreciate the service. I saw whenever the water got halfway down, you rushed right over to fill it up. and that you paid attention to the small details, so thank you for that. So that's number 2. Number 2 is smile a lot. Number 3, what Dale Carnegie talks about in his book, is remember people's names and say it to them. He says like the sweetest sound that someone hears is their name. So because it's their name, it's basically who they are. So when we're communicating with people, we want to say people's name to them. Now, we don't want to overdo it, so we don't need to say it every now and then. But for example, like I like to go out to eat a lot. That's kind of my thing, right? I probably go out to eat pretty much all the time. So if I'm out to eat at a restaurant and the server comes up, and I'll kind of keep a mental note, right? I'll say, oh, his name's Dale, okay? So, okay, I guess the same person that wrote the book. Server's name's Dale. Maybe the server takes our order, goes away, server brings out the food. I'll say, hey, appreciate it, thank you, Dale. And then maybe the server brings out some ketchup, because I like ketchup. No need to say Dale then. But then when it's time for the check, hey, excuse me, Dale, is there any way we could get the check whenever you have some time? So by saying someone's name and repeating it to them, they like it. It makes them feel good, and it's easy to do. And the other thing is, you'll actually get good at this. Once you do any of these things, and especially the next couple things we're going to talk about that I would argue are even more powerful and will help you be a better influencer than the last 3 things. When you do these things, after a while they become second nature, and you'll just be complimenting people, smiling, remembering their name, and all of a sudden you might have people come up to you, you're so charismatic. Why is it that so many people like you? You're so good at influencing people and getting people to go along with your ideas. It's very cool. Number 4 is be a good listener. This is very, very, very powerful. I got a question for you. You, me? Yes, you that's watching this video. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone? And when you're in the conversation with them, and you guys are talking, all of a sudden you have something on your mind you really wanted to say. A thought came and you really wanted to share it. They were talking, and you didn't hear anything they said because you were so caught up in your head of as soon as this person gets done talking, I'm going to talk and I got this important point that I need to say. We've all probably been that way, right? So number 4 is be a good listener. Be aware of other people and understand this. When someone gets a thought in their brain, that especially it kind of takes them over and they get really excited about it, whether they want to share it with you or they're pissed off and angry with you, we got to let them talk first. We want to, as much as we want to say what we want to say, if they have a thought in their head and we say what we want to say, they're probably not going to hear it or understand it or absorb it because they're too busy thinking about what they want to say. Does that kind of make sense? So I'll even do this on Facebook. If I'm talking with someone on like a Facebook Messenger and I'm talking to someone, I do this with one of my partners and shit, and I start typing something and I see he's typing something, I'll delete what I say. Give him space to type and say what he needs to say. Because I know once he says what he needs to say and gets what he needs to say off his chest and out of his mind, he will then be more open and more susceptible to understanding me and to hearing me and hearing what I have to say, especially if I acknowledge what he has to say. Hey, that's a really good idea. So you're saying this. We should do this, and that'll do this. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Now I'm kind of putting myself inside his brain a little bit. And then, now that he sees that I'm listening to him, I'm in agreement with him, I'm going along with his idea, I say, hey, that's fantastic. You mind if I run another idea by you and you could share and you could tell me what you think about it? Yeah. You see how, because of the way that we kind of went through that conversation, that now he's a lot more open to hearing what I had to say. Sometimes it's not about us saying the best thing. Sometimes it's about making sure the other person's mind is calm enough to where they're open to receiving and understanding what we're saying. Very powerful point. Number 5, talk in terms of the other people's interests. So, I had a bunch of sales jobs, right? And you guys can find other videos on my YouTube channel. If you want to get really good at selling, I give you some very specific, powerful sales tactics. Of course, 100% free on my channel. So when I got started in selling, I was like, I want to sell this item because I want the customer to buy it so I can get a commission so I can make my money because I'm about me getting paid. That usually did not work out so well. I still had that desire of, I want to get my money, but now I would talk in terms of other people. So someone would come in, let's see, what's one of the sales jobs that I had? So one of the things would be that I would, I would sell phones. I used to sell phones at AT&T. I was at AT&T. I used to sell phones at T-Mobile too. So someone would come in to buy a phone, and let's say they said, hey, we're thinking about switching over from Sprint because Sprint, their prices are too high, our bill fluctuates every month, and we don't get signal where we live. What would be more susceptible to that person? If I said, great, you should come over to us, because if you sign up with us, I'm going to get a commission, and I'm going to use that money to go buy some food and some kombucha and some ice cream, because that's what I'm about. And I do like all those things, by the way. But now let's say I said, all right, well, tell me a little bit about more what you're looking for. And they told me, oh, we're looking for this, 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 this. And I said, okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about what we have. I listened to them first. We talked about this in the last. I listened to them first. And then I say, well, let's first pull up where you live to make sure we can get signal. Okay, we pull up where they live. Look at that. You said you didn't get calls with Sprint where you live. It shows here in our network, based on active towers we have now, that you're getting high signal where you're at. So you will always get signal no matter where in the house you're at. Then second thing is, what you'll like about what we have is we have what's called guaranteed prices. We actually had this at T-Mobile, but it was like guaranteed prices, where for both the lines it would be guaranteed $100 a month. We would not be over $100 a month. It actually says it in the contract. You could actually sue us if we charge you more than $100 amount. So there's no guessing. You always know exactly what your bill's going to be. So now what I'm doing is I'm talking in the terms of other people's interest. I'm presenting my product or my service in a way where it's presenting it in the terms where the other person wants. Very powerful. And that's number 5, talk in terms of other people's interests. Show it how it's going to benefit them. Don't make it about you. How is this going to benefit them? And when you show it how it's going to benefit them, they're more likely to buy, they're more likely to go along with your ideas, and they're more likely to do it and be happy about it and have a good experience afterwards. Now, let's go on to the final lesson. The final lesson in how to win friends and influence people is, if you make a mistake, if you're wrong, admit it openly and empathetically. So all that means is so we're all humans, correct? Humans. And as humans, we make mistakes. I make mistakes. Maybe you've made a mistake. Maybe you haven't. I'm not judging. I don't know, but maybe you've made mistakes before. A lot of times when humans make mistakes, they don't want to admit that they're wrong. The best thing you can do when you make a mistake is to openly admit it as quickly as possible and say, you know what? Maybe you told the customer some wrong information. You know what? I apologize. The price was actually not $100. It was $120. That's completely my fault. I take full responsibility for that. I was looking at one line instead of 2 lines, and you guys said you had 2 lines. But that's my fault. I apologize. So it's actually $120. Okay? Admitting it openly. And not trying to cover it up. Not trying to say, oh, what some people do is they'll try to apologize, but they do a loop around apology where they're like, oh, you know what? It's actually not $100, it's $120, but that's because the company did a price change and you guys were talking too fast and I couldn't think. That's not a real apology. A real apology is where, and you want to do it quickly, because when you know you did something wrong, you don't want to let it build, because then it makes it harder to do and it makes it seem like, listen, I'm sorry. And I've done this before when I'm offering quotes, or there's been times where I'm buying items for my business and I tell the customer I can give them like $300 or maybe $1,500. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's say it's $5,000. And I say, you know what? I apologize. I was looking at the wrong thing. It's only $4,500. It's totally my fault. I take full responsibility for it. I was just looking at the wrong price on the sheet. So it would be $4,500. And what would the person say when you do something like that? 99 out of 100 times, probably. If not, I'd say it's probably even more. Probably not going to get mad at you, right? You openly admit you made a mistake. You're human. We're all humans. You make a mistake. You take responsibility, you tell them you're sorry, and that's that. So that's what I got for you guys. Those are the 6 key main lessons I got out of how to win friends and influence people and how you can apply them in your life now. Now, if you like this book summary, if you look in the description, I actually I put together a free list of my top 10 favorite business books and 2-minute summaries on each. So if you kind of like this information and you'd like to get more kind of nuts and bolts book reviews where I share with you the most important principles from different books so you can go out there and apply it in your life, feel free to check out the link in the description. I'm going to share with you my top 10 favorite business books and 2-minute summaries on each. These are mainly books about making money though. So if you don't have a desire to make a lot of money, if you don't have a desire to to be financially secure and to grow your income, I wouldn't recommend checking it out. These top 10 books are mainly business books and books about being successful financially and making a lot of money. Well, that's what I got for you guys. Let me know what you thought about this in the comment section. If you got value from it. And I'm curious, which one of these did you like the most? Was there one of these lessons that you kind of got the most value from, or you think that kind of resonated with you the best and you could see yourself applying it in your life and in your day-to-day interactions? My name is Aaron Goldsten. You have a fantastic day.